There's something most guys never figure out. The men who make women miss them, who stay in her thoughts long after the conversation ends, aren't doing anything dramatic. They're not playing hard to get. They're not ignoring her. They understand something specific about how human desire actually works. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Here's the truth. Constant availability is one of the most reliable ways to kill attraction, and strategic absence, handled with the right energy and for the right reasons, is one of the most reliable ways to build it. Real psychology, not manipulation, not games, just a genuine understanding of how the brain processes desire and longing, and how to apply it authentically. Let's get into it. Before the strategies, understand the mechanism, because once you understand the why, the how becomes obvious. Psychologists call it reactance, the tendency to want something more intensely when access to it feels limited or uncertain. Think about how this shows up everywhere. A restaurant that's fully booked feels more desirable than one with empty tables. A limited product creates urgency that unlimited supply never would. A person who is always available slowly becomes less exciting than one whose attention feels earned. This wiring doesn't turn off just because we're talking about romantic attraction. Our brains are built to pursue things that require effort. What this means practically, when you are always available, you remove the psychological conditions that make missing someone possible. Missing someone requires their absence. Longing requires uncertainty. Desire requires a gap between wanting and having. You cannot make someone miss you while you're constantly there. The two things are mutually exclusive. You need a life that exists beyond what she has access to. Not a mysterious persona you're performing. An actual life with actual depth she can't fully map or predict. Most guys do the opposite. When interested in someone, they open the entire map of their life immediately. Every plan shared, every thought communicated, every experience narrated in real time. And the mystery disappears. There's nothing left to wonder about. And wonder, genuine curiosity about who someone is and what they're doing, is one of the primary fuels of longing. The key is not withholding strategically to seem interesting. It's genuinely having a life with enough going on that you simply can't share all of it. Being busy because you're actually building something. Being unavailable sometimes because your life has real priorities. When she gets glimpses of your world and it looks interesting, when she can see things are happening she's not fully part of, her brain naturally wants to know more. That wanting is the beginning of missing. There's a specific moment in early attraction, usually when things are going well and the connection is building, where most guys make the same mistake. They lean in harder, text more, check in more, try to maintain the momentum through increased contact. And the opposite happens. The connection that had an exciting electricity to it starts feeling predictable, and predictable energy slowly becomes background noise. The counterintuitive move, the one naturally confident men make instinctively, is to pull back slightly at exactly this moment. Not dramatically, not coldly. Just go live your life for a day or two. Let the contact naturally reduce without explanation. What happens in her mind during that silence is fascinating. The brain notices the absence of something it had become accustomed to, and it begins to ask, where did that go? What's he doing? Those questions are the beginning of missing you. The key, this only works if it's genuine. If you're actually absorbed in your life, real absence creates real longing. Performed absence creates suspicion. The peak end rule. People don't remember the average of an experience, and they remember the emotional peak and how it ended, which means the way you exit every interaction, every conversation, every date, every text exchange, determines how she carries it with her afterward. Most guys end interactions when the energy runs out. They let conversations drag until there's nothing left to say. They stay until the natural endpoint rather than leaving while the vibe is still high. But the man who ends things while they're still good, who exits the date while she's still laughing, who sends the last text and then goes quiet, creates a specific psychological experience. She's left in the middle of a good feeling, and her brain, wired to seek completion for unfinished emotional experiences, keeps returning to that feeling, trying to close the loop. That return is what missing someone actually feels like at its core. Leave while it's good, bro. Every single time. Predictability is the silent killer of attraction. When someone can fully anticipate how you'll behave, your response is always the same, your availability always the same, your energy always the same, you stop feeling like a discovery and start feeling like a given. People don't miss givens. They miss surprises. They miss things that caught them off guard in a good way. Genuine unpredictability isn't about being erratic. It's about having enough depth that the person you're with can never fully predict what's coming next. Sometimes deep and philosophical, sometimes playful and teasing, sometimes you respond immediately, sometimes genuinely absorbed in something else and reply hours later without explanation. Psychologists call this variable reward. The same mechanism that makes certain things addictive, the unpredictable timing and nature of rewards, keeps the brain engaged in a way that predictable rewards quickly stop doing. Be more than she can fully figure out. That incompleteness will keep her thinking about you long after the conversation ends. Here's something I need to be direct about, bro. None of this works if it's performed. Creating absence as a tactic, checking your phone obsessively while pretending to be busy, engineering disappearances to manufacture longing, doesn't work long term. People feel the calculation underneath it, and what was supposed to create attraction ends up creating distrust. Everything in this video only works when it comes from a genuine place. The absence has to be real. You actually have to be living your life. The unpredictability has to be natural. You actually have to have enough depth that she can't predict you. Which brings us back to the foundation that runs through every video on this channel. The man who naturally makes women miss him isn't running strategies. He's living fully. He's genuinely absorbed in his own direction. He has real things happening that create natural absence. The work isn't learning tricks. The work is becoming the kind of man whose absence is actually felt, whose presence is genuinely valuable, whose life is full enough that the people in it naturally want more of it. That's not a tactic, bro. That's a way of being. Let's bring it together. Making her miss you isn't about games. It's about understanding how human desire works and aligning your behavior with that psychology in a way that's authentic to who you are. Create real absence by actually living your life. Maintain mystery by genuinely having depth. End interactions at the peak. Be unpredictable by being genuinely complex. None of this requires you to be someone you're not. It requires you to be more fully who you already are, with less anxiety, less neediness, and more genuine investment in your own direction. And everything we've covered across all 5 videos this week points back to the same truth. The most attractive version of you isn't a more impressive version, it's a more grounded version, a more present version, a version that has built something real internally that doesn't depend on her response to feel complete. That's the man women miss. That's the man you're becoming every time you apply even one of these principles. The next video is already up. Go check it out right now. I'll see you over there.